Cannabis farms in your living room, filthy tenants. Is it just too much for one person to bear and manage on their own? Today, I'm going to answer this question for you. Based on my own experience of owning and self-managing 3 properties, I'm going to show you how to find tenants for your rental properties and how to manage a buy-to-let yourself successfully. What's up guys, it's your urban educator Warren Goslin back with another financial wealth building video. If you'd like to show your support for this channel, please do so by hitting the like button and subscribing, that really helps. And recommend this video to somebody else on their wealth building journey. Appreciate the continued love and support from you guys. Peace. Guys, do me a favor and help me out with the algorithm here on YouTube by hitting the thumbs up like button and subscribing. When you do that, YouTube says, hey, these guys like this video, let's push it out to other people across the platform. I think they'll like it too. So, managing a buy-to-let yourself is going to affect you in 3 main ways: financially, time and effort required, and also your legal responsibilities. And we're going to go through the pros and cons on each one of these so that you can come to your own conclusion once we're done. Stick around to the end where I'll go through the different tenant find and management options that letting agents can offer you, ranging from doing literally everything yourself to them handling a few specific services for you. So I'm going to start with the financial side of things because that's what we're most interested in when it comes to buy-to-let. We invest to get a return. And if I choose to find tenants myself and manage a buy-to-let myself, i.e. doing everything myself, the pros are that I'm not giving away any of my profits. I keep them all myself. I'm not giving away anything whatsoever in fees to letting agents. I keep 100%. And you probably want to make a note of these guys. The one-off fees that you're going to pay to a letting agent to find a tenant for you are normally a setup fee, which covers the cost of the agent marketing your property, the photos, the descriptions, setting it up on the online portals like Rightmove and Zoopla, etc. That also includes agreeing the rent, the legal tenancy agreement, which is a big one, guys, referencing such as credit checks, employment checks, and right to rent checks. And usually this comes in at around £450. You're also going to pay an inventory fee, which is usually part of the legally binding tenancy agreement. You'll see it cited in there. And basically it's an unbiased record of the property's condition before and after the tenant moves in. And it also includes a list of all of the items included in the tenancy. So if the landlord's providing you with a sofa, with a bed, that's going to be in the inventory. If there's any marks or scuffs or damage on the property or in the property before you move in, that will be in the inventory so that you don't get charged for it when you move out. And I think most of us know what it's like to have a certain amount deducted from your deposit when you move out because the landlord said you've done this whilst you've been a tenant in my flat. So this is around £150, guys. As a landlord, you're going to pay a checkout fee, which covers agreeing a checkout date once the tenant gives notice to the agent that they're moving out. And this covers the cost of the letting agent arranging an appointment and instructing the inventory checker that we just talked about to come and attend. This is around £150. We have the security deposit registration fee. All tenants' deposits must be registered by law with a government approved scheme, and you pay a fee to the agent for doing this for you, usually around £100. You've probably heard of the tenancy deposit scheme and other schemes like that. Then the last main fee that you'll pay is a renewal fee. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't get this one, guys, but you pay this whenever an existing tenancy is renewed or extended beyond its initial term. So if a tenant's been in your flat for say 12 months, when he gets to the end of the 12 months, you pay a fee for him renewing his tenancy. £150, guys. I mean, money for nothing, eh? But it is what it is. So those are the one-off fees that you're going to pay. And then you pay them a percentage of your gross rent every month to manage the property for you, if that's what you've chosen. This is the ongoing monthly management fee. And just to give you an idea of these fees, my letting agent that I use on my properties charges £800 just to find a tenant. That's one option. 12% to find a tenant and collect the rent for you each month. So you won't have to chase the rent monthly from the tenant. They pay it to the agent and the agent gives it to you after they've deducted that 12%. And then 16.2% for a fully managed service, okay? Other agents charge different rates, but this is a good general indication of what you can expect to pay for the different types of services from letting agents. So quite a few one-off fees to pay in total, guys, if you choose an agent, and also depending on the service that you choose. Altogether, this adds up to around £1,000 of one-off fees. And then also you have the ongoing monthly fees that we've just mentioned. Now, the pros are that you pay these fees to not have to do any of these things yourself. So the checks, the referencing, etc. You save time and effort, okay? The primary con is that you receive less of your profits for paying someone to do this for you. So that's the pros and cons, that's the trade-off, guys. Next, let's look at time and effort. As a landlord myself, I own 3 properties, so you'd think that that takes up a lot of time each week, right? Wrong. Well, actually not so, and I've said this before, but having done this 3 times now, from first-hand experience, the majority of the time and effort is actually spent up front, guys, researching the property, doing the finances, going on the visits, and going through the buying process, which can take, 3 to 6 months in itself. Watch my 2 videos from last year called My Worst Year in Property Parts 1 and 2 to understand exactly what I'm talking about here, guys. I have 3 standard buy-to-lets, which I manage myself. And I'd say I spend around a day per month managing these. And this is predominantly on the financials. Being a banker, I probably overcheck my accounts a lot because I'm obsessed with numbers. More than I need to, but that's just what I like to do. But in terms of management of tenants day to day, my flats are all new builds, so there isn't a lot that goes wrong really. Famous last words, I mean, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and my roof's going to have fallen off or my boiler's going to have busted. But on a handful of occasions where I have been contacted, roughly 4 times in total last year, these have been to fix minor issues in the flat, like a radiator or a faulty intercom, okay? Or to direct my tenant to the block managers for how to work the boiler and where to find the water supply stopcock, okay? That's literally it so far. Hardly anything, very, very low effort, minor issues. And as I mentioned, the caveat here is that my houses are new build flats, so these tend to have fewer issues than, say, an 80-year-old terraced house where more can potentially go wrong due to their size and age. So the pros of managing a buy-to-let myself is that it doesn't take much time or effort day to day at all. It's no significant extra burden for me, so I'm happy to do this myself. And on the rare occasions where a tenant does get in contact for something, it's something relatively easy to fix, like a minor plumbing or electrical job that were both fixed within a day. The cons are that when a tenant does get in contact with you, you need to be responsive speedily. The way that I look at it, guys, and something to think about for you, as a landlord, yes, you're offering a home to tenants, but what a lot of people miss is that you're also offering a service, okay? Not just a home, but a service. So I always try and respond to any communication within 24 hours, and I make every effort to arrange for the issue to be fixed, whatever it is, within 48 hours. And I keep the tenant updated throughout the process. And it's worked really great for me, that way of approaching it, because guess what? When you treat your tenant well, they're going to want to stay longer and they're going to want to take better care of your property, guys. Not to mention that it's the right thing to do for your tenants. You want to do right by them, guys. And then lastly, let's talk about your legal responsibilities. These are very, very important part of how to manage a buy-to-let yourself, guys, because if you fail to do any of these, it can result in fines or legal action or you being written off as a landlord. It's no joke. So as a landlord, it's your legal responsibility to ensure the following: to keep your rented properties safe and free from health hazards, to make sure that all gas and electrical equipment is safely installed and maintained. This is usually done via an independent checker, providing you with a safety certificate or a report. So for example, I have to provide an energy performance certificate, EPC, for my property to all of my tenants. You'll also need to protect your tenant's deposit in a government approved deposit scheme, as we talked about at the beginning of this video. And then lastly, you need to check that your tenant has a right to rent your property. Now, a lot of people think that that shouldn't be the landlord's job, because basically you have to check that your tenant has a right of stay in the UK, that they're here legally, and it's the landlord's responsibility to do this. As I mentioned, all of these can result in fines or having a banning order where you get banned from being a landlord in England, literally. So there's no shortcutting these, guys. Therefore, the options available to most landlords are that you can either manage the buy-to-let yourself and arrange to do all of these yourself, or you can pay a letting agent to arrange all of these for you. Now, the letting agent is arranging it for you, but it's still your responsibility that it's done properly. So 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, you can trust the letting agent to do this for you because they're letting agents, they're professionals, they've done it hundreds, thousands of times. But still ask them for copies of documents just to check, yeah? Because at the end of the day, if it goes wrong, it's going to come down on you and not the letting agent. You're liable. Just remember that, guys, and it's really important to understand that. So the pros of doing these yourself is that you don't have to pay an agent for this service and you keep more of your profits. The cons are that the time and effort that you'll end up putting into doing these yourself. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, it's a big responsibility, as I said, from a legal perspective, to get these things right. And I'm not a professional in these areas, so I pay my agent to do all of these for me. And I'll talk more about that in a separate video. So I said at the beginning of this video that I'll go through the different tenant find and management options that letting agents can offer you. But I've actually run out of time, guys. So I'm gonna roll that into another upcoming video. So keep an eye out for that, guys. I hope you found this video useful, guys. If you're thinking of becoming a landlord, very important to understand these and get these right. Guys, like, comment, and subscribe really helps this channel, and I'll see you next week.